There we go. So I'm going to start uploading the replay now. Right, excellent. So I'll just get that sorted and then we'll carry on. Let's see what questions we've got there. I'll see you later there, Shiva. Have a good one, my friend. How are your oil convoys going? I've not started them yet because it's not safe enough to start it as of yet. We do have a roundabout. In Tokyo, there's around about 150 to 170 days worth of fuel at the moment in time. So there is obviously a need, but it's not so much... It's not as dire yet. I'd rather secure more of the Dutch East Indies before putting tankers at risk. But I will be running small tankers, really. Small tankers that are low value, true low cargo holds, well, space. What's the word? Low capacity, but it's one of these where it doesn't particularly matter if I lose one of them. Low risk. That's the word I was thinking of. But I think I said low risk already, didn't I? Oh well. Okay, starting out. Go. There we go. So that'll be uploading any time. There we go. Right, okay. Yeah, I've got additional engineers on the way to Singapore. It's just going to take time for them to arrive, really. Let's see. 41st Infantry still moving across. 20th Independent Engineer, they've just arrived, so they can move across there to Singapore. The bloodiest aspect of Singapore is over, and that is the first crossing. After that, obviously, you can amass the forces. Right, AV. Okay. They have the Imperial Japanese Army Squads and are therefore useful. They're planned for Baldwar, so I'm going to have them change over to Singapore, of course. Yeah, these guys are essential, really, to help reduce the fortifications. See you later there, Vulcan. Have a good one, my friend. Right, so they're moving across there. Right, Singapore, so let's go take them a few days to cross over there, which is fine. So additional forces are on the way. Yeah, pretty much. Thank you very much there for the bits. Much appreciated. I know that you tried Black Ice before for Half-Life 3. Have you tried Black Ice? I tried it once and it didn't actually... I don't know. Something didn't work. If you wouldn't mind... message me on Discord about how to set it up properly, I'd give it a go. I do enjoy Black Ice. Well, I do enjoy Half-Life 3. I would love to play more of it. It's just obviously the fact is the game crashes. How you doing there, Neko? Good to have you, my friend. Okay. So we see the base over here, which is good news. We do have a decent bit of resources over there. That's good, man. Good to have you on stream, my friend. Welcome. Stable as well. Well, that's what I like. It's one of these things. I've done a few series before on Black Ice, and it crashed after a while. It was just, it's just annoying. Yeah, there seems to be some problem, doesn't there? Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So we've seen some allied ships over there. That's rather intriguing, actually. Okay, so she did survive. Lots of flotation damage, however. But that's actually rather surprising considering that we were docked as well. But then again, the port is only size 1. So, begin to unload anyway. Are they docked? They're definitely docked. Okay. For no reason, really, couldn't have areas out of supply. Ah, that's kind of unfortunate. Black ice is like Rommel, and black ice is... yeah. Okay. So I wonder where they've come from, then. I don't think they're anything much beyond patrol boats, gunboats, if that. We do have aircraft over here, so... They've only just arrived. He might have created PT boats, actually. Not entirely certain at this moment in time. He's still got aircraft over here, but I don't think they can move. If they could move, they would have been out of here by now. Right. So the second SLF could take additional casualties there, but it is what it is. These guys are moving over there. They're going to begin their march. It's going to take a few days for them to actually arrive there, but when they do arrive, they'll be able to take the base for no issues. We'll take this base tomorrow. Should be nice. I can begin to load back up over here to Dobo. I love it when you can dock as well. It really speeds things up quite nicely. So begin to load up. Verified load. Accept load. There's a little bit of extra supply there, so I might as well grab it. Can show the plane/ship losses. Okay. Aircraft losses. Wow. That's actually a surprisingly large number of losses there. Actually surprisingly large. I think that's the largest carrier mission we've actually... Yeah, wow, that's actually quite a lot of them. I can replace those. I would like to actually know what the issues might have been there. Maybe potentially inadequate pilots, but that's something interesting. But we can replace those anyway. Fire Buffalo, we shoot down 3 P-40Es, wherever the hell those things are when we took the base. Ops apparently, but obviously was taken on the base there. They shouldn't... I don't think it's fatigue. They were rested quite some time. I just think it might have been luck, to be fair. Then they were flying at 28,000 feet. I mean, the issue... I think what might actually be going on then is potentially as they're engaging aircraft at different altitudes, they might be descending, while other aircraft that arrive might arrive at higher altitude and therefore have the advantage and dive. It's a very interesting one there, really. I would have preferred it had the bombs actually gone through and hit the goddamn base. I may have to postpone it until we have better weather in the area. I mean, it said severe storms over the tide when the bombers arrived, unfortunately. Yeah, so he's definitely pulling back over here. So we retained this base, which is quite nice. Ship sighted 2 over there. Good few in there. There's not as many fighters as there once was, actually, so it looks like he might be moving out of the area anyway. I can afford the losses in zeros for the time. We can replace them. I do have some in the pool already to go out and replace them. We do have 5 that are damaged. Fatigue on the aircraft's not bad. Fatigue on the pilots increased quite exponentially, actually. So, yeah. We'll stand them down so they can rest. It might have been the fatigue in that last battle then. That's actually jumped up considerably from what it was, from last was, actually. That's rather intriguing. Yeah. So we launched them to sweep last turn, and then I think they've swept again this turn, so that would explain it then. So we'll put that down, potentially fatigue. Okay. Oh, it's a float plane. Well, that's good then. Always worth taking those out then. Always worth taking out 3 targets, to be honest. So over here, little... Oh, yeah, definitely a little bit of supply of only 1. But still worthwhile. How are these guys doing over here then? So 13 fatigue then. 59. Let's take a look at the pilots in general. I might give them another turn just to stand down, just to give, well, just to gather that fatigue. Well, reduce that fatigue, really. Then we'll start to hit the air... Well, not the aircraft, sorry, the ships again. He's reduced the amount of aircraft he's had out this way. Yeah, looks like he's shifting some over to Sabang. Let's see. Not losses. Pilots. So none of the aces. We do have a missing in action over here from those who might have been aces. But it happens. We'll have pilots to replace them in the near future. But the good news is, once we do establish supremacy in this area, which we are getting there, if he's only got 13 fighters here now, then we will be able to establish that supremacy. What I'm going to look towards doing then is actually, reconnoitering the other bases in the area, figuring out where he has gone. But I will be able to win control over Rangoon. It would have been helped along exceptionally if the actual bombers were able to drop their bombs. They just don't seem to be able to drop their yields at the moment. Or they are dropping, but they're not hitting due to weather conditions. Okay, excellent. This is exactly what I want to see here in China. As far as I can tell, nothing is moving in China. That's really good news. Still 4 out of 8 there. 9 out of 10 there to Yunqiang is still open. 19 units still over here then. He has shifted out the fighters though, that's rather interesting. Okay, so we could be looking in the near future then at Allied attempts to re-establish the fight in China's airspace. Or he might have moved those fighters into Burma. I don't know where he might have moved them at this moment in time. But yeah, the fact that everything else is static is exceptionally good. Right, we have made contact with this unit over here. What is the terrain over here? It is clear. I don't have an idea of how strong this unit is, so I'm going to go for a shock attack. If it's anything like this unit, it's not going to be terribly weak, but it's not going to be terribly strong either. I'll take a look at ships lost as well. Oops, ships sunk, sorry. Last turn. So it's not reporting anything. Which is not too surprising. Okay. Right, you're rearmed. That's good news. Get you back out there. I do need the, well, I would like the moonlight to increase once again. It'll happen soon enough. Right, get the hell back out there. Right. Looks like they are still loading troops, so they'll get underway shortly then, that's good news. Well, what I'm looking for is to reduce the 100th Chinese Corps as much as possible, really. There's no real timetable on Wankao. It is going to fall inevitably. See, the thing is, with this centre over here, due to the fact that it does have a, it has a light industry, has a heavy industry, it produces resources. Well, it did produce resources. Once we arrived actually at Wankao, then the resource production centres, they cease functioning. But each, like, one unit of resource center produces, like, 20 resources a day. Should you imagine if he's got, like, 61... Yeah, 61 times 20 then, I believe it is. So, there'll be a lot of resources basically stockpiled. So, with the resources stockpiled, the industry continues to operate. So, the industry continuing to operate does continue to produce supply. So, it's going to take some time. I don't know. I think it's working fine as it is, really. I think it's more so the amount of moonlight that's negating the casualties inflicted. We inflicted 400 this day, though, so that's not too bad there, really. Yeah, you're right about 8. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it probably was one of those heading past Darwin. Which is good to see. It's actually very interesting that... I don't know why he... I don't know, I just don't understand why he'd send it back that way, but... He almost got away with it, in fairness, so... Oh well. Okay. So we can see that we have the 6th and 2nd Tank Regiment now. Not too far away. They are closing in on their final destination. 51st Reconnaissance Regiment also closing in as well. We do have the 51st Engineer Regiment, which is going to take some time to arrive. As to whether they arrive there or not, I'm not entirely sure. Now, we do have the divisions over here. I'm really hoping against hope that he's not aware of these. If he is, then, oh well, I can't do anything about it. Can't tell if that's movement, I don't think it's movement. But we will have them move to here, and then they'll move south anyway, so I don't know if he'll be as concerned about that. Still looking at 4 units. I think maybe... It's really hard to say what he knows. I really don't know what he might know about over here. So what we might do is we might have an option. It's one of these. I've got to get these forces assembled as well, which complicates things. Okay. So they're going to be over here to Kukong next turn. Possibly next turn. How far are they? So they're oh, it's going to take them 2 days. So 2 days they'll be over here to Kukong. So they will arrive at Kukong on the 15th of February then. Okay. 38th Division, taking a slow-ass time. Yeah, but it's one of those of, is it necessarily going to increase the actual bombardment results there? I don't think it's an issue of actual proximity, I think it's an issue of actual moonlight at the moment in time. Then I don't know if he has actual guns. He does still have 62 guns over here. So I don't want to close to that sort of distance, just in case. You've got to remember that we still have destroyers that can still be... They can still take a hit, you know. But it's a worthwhile point, but I think once we have the moonlight, we'll be okay. Okay, right. Now, I do have an additional brigade over here setting out. So they're heading to Nanchang, and they're heading to the rendezvous point. So that's good then. 200 miles to go there. It's going to take some time. I think what we may have to do then, it depends really. Really depends on what goes on over here. I've got to try and catch him napping. If we don't see any additional movements, what I might do is... I'm going to have to discuss this one. It really does depend, because I would like to have as much force here as possible. The armoured units might be able to make it, but what I'm thinking is maybe by the time these guys arrive here, we could try to time it so that they arrive there at the same time so we could cross together. But it's hard to say there, really. Yeah, possibly so far, but it's one of these of, I'm not going to do it. I don't think it's worthwhile doing it. Not until the moonlight increases anyway, because I don't think we're going to have terribly high results anyway. I'd rather not run the risk for something where we can sit back and hit it without worry anyway. Where is the Allied fleet? Welcome there, by the way, Speed. Good to have you, my friends. Well, how's that bloody thing not flown again? I don't know if it's flying. I don't know if it flew tonight. I don't know if it flew... It's definitely not flown the last 3 nights. I don't know if it is flying or if it's not flying. There's storms over there. We'll have to try and do some detective work to figure that one out. I don't know if it's still here at Wellington. We did detect what might have been 2 carriers, maybe more than 2 carriers, but I'm going to say 2 carriers is probably what we saw. And I don't know if he's still there, and I find it very strange that there's no sightings over any of these submarines. So, he's either hiding in Wellington, or he may be heading to Australia. He could be heading towards Perth. He could be, I don't know. I don't think it's likely that he would be heading back. I don't think he's heading north, because I think we would have had some idea about that by now. He could still be, I don't know, I'm going to say it's probably about 50-50 as to whether he's in Wellington or not. I would love to actually have a report here from the I-10's flight plane as to regarding, well, as to the status of what the hell's in Wellington. But I don't have a detection level there. That's the line of an 80. Have a good one, my friend. Is there a mountain terrain behind the line? Line where? Which mountain are we thinking? I don't have any mini subs down there. And a mini sub would be destroyed, unfortunately. We do have a flow plane on board the actual submarine. It's just, there seems to be complications trying to get it there. Changsha. Oh, not R. Let's see. There we go. Behind, so Changsha is urban light, which means a ×2 terrain benefit. Well, as over here is clear, so this is clear, this is clear, this is clear. Clear, wooded, clear. So really, he has a ×2 defensive bonus here, but on the other side of the riverbank he only has a ×1. And the good news is our armor becomes significantly more effective on that terrain. But it's rather interesting. So he did move out about 4, potentially 4, maybe 3 to 4 cores. It's hard to know exactly where he moved out. I can speculate maybe 4 cores. I'll say maybe 3 to 4 cores. But he moved them out, and they're sitting over here at Xiangtan, well, Xiangtan, how the hell you pronounce it, which is interesting. He did previously have 30 units over here. I don't know why they're complaining about lack of supplies. It looks like they're being funneled elsewhere. Probably due to the fact that these divisions are down there. They're complaining, but they have enough supplies. They're moaning when they actually have them. If I combine these units, I'm sure they'd be happy. Okay. Can you drop troops behind them? What the intention here is really... I'm playing in full screen, so I can't get the actual drawing tool up. But my plan at the moment is I've got paratroopers assembling over here. So I've got Langson, I've got the Yokosuka 3rd SLF, which is a airborne unit. The other half of it is arriving in the next, I'm going to say probably in the next day or two. But it is getting ready, so it's got one more day until it's unpacked and then ready to go completely. And I do have paratroopers over here at Hankau. So at Hankau, I do have the 2nd Raiding Regiment, which are ready to go. They're actually planning as well. Now, these bases of Toyon and Chikyang, we have been able to detect for the last... I think it's probably for like the last 2 weeks. I think it was like the last 2 weeks. But yes, those bases are empty. So we can see that we could land over here at Toyon via paratroopers whenever we kind of felt like it. I can't tell if that's movement or not. Might be. I might have to take a look at that. So it looks like there's something there, but it could be just a map oddity. Let's take a look. Enhance. 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 Okay. So it's got the little black arrow, which might indicate movement, it might not indicate movement. We've seen them before. We saw a black arrow over here at Nanyang, and we did see units move out of there. So I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that units aren't moving there, but we'll see about that. He could be looking to maybe counterattack, but I don't think he would counterattack. And at the end of the day, if he counterattacked here, it would actually be to our benefit, as I would have enough forces to smash him out of the clear terrain there, really. Well, no, I'll potentially smash him, but we could definitely have a much easier time of it if we fought him here on our terms rather than on his own terms. The damage at Changsha is 6, so I'm going to have the air field hit again to keep the engineers busy there, which is fine. But yes, so it's hard because it's like, for example, if I zoom in again, like you can see this unit over here, you can see that there is the arrow there that is actually filled in with colour. These units are definitely moving, as you can see, same again over here. I'll see if I can find like a allied unit elsewhere. And then I can show you the difference and why there's a little bit of confusion about it, really. Okay, so here we go, Baipigu. Yeah, so as you can see, Baipigu, you can see that there's actually that coloured arrow indicating movement. So it's one of those of where it's strange. Ideally it's not movement, but if it is, then it's going to be ideally not as bad as I would fear. But yes, the plan at the moment is we're looking to assemble enough force over here. So currently I've got the 104th Division, the 23rd Army Headquarters. I do have tank regiments on the way. There is the 38th Division over here as well. Additional artillery as well coming up from Kukong. That will arrive in the next 2 days. And then I've got the 4th Brigade, the 6th Division, 12th Division and 15th Division. They're marching out as well. Now, with the road system, they're going to march 30 miles per day along here. So they will be here, so he probably will be able to see them. But then they're going to head south, so ideally he will not react to that, but we'll see about that. Thank you very much there, Pyro Joe. Much appreciated. Probably the CVs is after this turn. Yeah, we should be able to get going tomorrow, perhaps, actually, which is when the Tone-class heavy cruiser and the other heavy cruiser truck will be ready. I'm so happy that the Allies don't have float planes on their submarines, so it would make things significantly more difficult. But I'll tell you what, I want to check this out over here at Christmas Island. That's very strange. PT boats, that is very strange. I mean, maybe they're operating as... Ooh, I don't know. Harbour protection, but it seems really kind of weird to have done that. I'm hoping that there's no aircraft here. Thank you very much, Communist. Much appreciated, my friend. Yeah, this is on sale. I've not actually looked at the price itself, but it is definitely on sale. I should have done something about it, but I've been busy the last few days. But I do feel like a profit, because I have been saying that there would be a sale for the last, like, year. And here we go! God, time flies. Time has flown. Yeah, $15. Yeah, it's such a good price. Such a good price. I absolutely recommend playing it. Even if you don't intend to play it in the near future, it's definitely worth picking up on the sale price. Okay. I'm kind of hoping that there's no aircraft operating by Christmas Island. But we'll see about that. Okay. So we did see that we were detected by aircraft operating out from this region here, more than likely from Fiji itself. Now, we did take the base of Hirafet, which is good news. Ifet, however the hell you say it. With the 2 SLF squads there, that's fine. So what we're going to do then is get these guys loaded back up. The good news is I can dock here, which makes things move much quickly. Well, much faster, really, is what I'm trying to say. So we'll get them loaded, and then we'll go take the base at Tenno. Okay. So I'm still unloading over here. That's taken significantly longer than I would have hoped for, actually. Yeah, very good price. Definitely a good price there, my dude. There's not much there to unload. Now... initially, I was going to get the actual cargo ships the hell out of there as soon as possible. But I don't know. I don't know where he is. I don't know. I think he's... I don't know if he's at Wellington, you know. We saw him for a turn, and then we suddenly lost detection. Maybe he moved out. Maybe... well, this is it. Maybe he did move out. Maybe he got out on that turn after he was detected. Which could make sense. I mean, it could make sense, really. But, I don't know. It's about 50%, isn't it, really, as to whether he's actually there or not. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's about 50-50 as to whether he's at Wellington. He could be heading towards Australia, but I think if he does head north, then we will find out about it soon enough. We do have 3 active H6K4s over here, 2 in maintenance, 2 that are damaged. We'll have another one tomorrow, and then another 2 the day after. Unfortunately, that one there at 9 days is going to take longer. But we are operating out here. So we're operating at 20 hexes, so let's see. That's 19 hexes. So from Comac, we could detect him theoretically out to here. Something around that area there, really. Connects. Contacts. Mr. Gamer. Please, Mr. Gamer was my father. Call me Mr. Gamer Jr. I don't think there's ever going to be a One Pacific 2. Probably because this project, it's more or less like a one-off. But I don't know. Never say never, right? I think if there was enough support, perhaps, like some sort of global campaign with millions signing in blood, then maybe they probably would get off their asses and do it again, but who knows. Okay, so I've not seen anything off by perf at this moment in time. I do want to haul these submarines back to port to actually get them re-armed and refueled. I don't think they're doing me any good there at Java right now. I think the flow of ships out of the Dutch East Indies has significantly slowed due to the fact that, well, he saw what happened to the 2 tankers on Lost Harbor, and I don't think he wants a repeat of that. Which, yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, okay, so I did actually misjudge there the distance that they could actually travel. So, we are in a dangerous position right now, but we will land here literally tomorrow then, which is good news. So we'll land over here at Balapapan tomorrow. We are carrying the 4th Division Sea Detachment. Ideally, they survive. I think they should be okay. There are some mods that do things like that. I'm going to keep them on naval search. I think it's more important to have the situational awareness due to the fact that I can actually run reconnaissance from the bases out here. So yeah, the other unit didn't didn't surrender, which is actually rather shocking. Come on, somebody's going to laugh at that. But we'll take that tomorrow. Well, we'll finish that unit off tomorrow. So we'll have another... yeah, so we'll net about 2,000 allied POWs over there. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, I think I remember you saying about that one. So there's 19 fighters over there, 21 bombers. He's moved... I'm sure he's moved the fighters around here somewhere. He might be moving them to Burma. I'm not entirely sure, but he seems to move the fighters from Chongqing. He seems to move the fighters from down here at Surabaya. The fighters are moving somewhere. He could be trying to do something in Burma, perhaps, or he might be just trying to pull out from the actual potential combat. But we'll see about that. Okay, so they're still moving in there. They're going to go ahead and pick up the Southern Army when they get the chance to do so. ASW, yep. Okay, so they're going to go ahead. These guys are here. They're going to act as an escort if needs be. Alright. Grab the other two patrol boats there. Okay, what they're going to do then is dock up. Run as a fast transport. Load supplies. I'll have the supplies shifted down here to Sinkwang. There we go. And did you know that there was a Japanese unit that landed on Australia's northern coast? No, not really. Actually, I didn't know about that. See, when it comes to history, I'm not one of those guys that... I don't really have much of an interest in the battles, per se. I've never been one of those guys where I find the battles interesting or the tactics particularly interesting. I do, of course, but it's just never been my main focus. I'd like more so the bigger picture. I'm one of those more, like, bigger picture historians. Well, not a historian, but hopefully one day. Probably more likely to be cleaning a toilet or something than doing anything like that, but hey, there we go. Okay. They've been able to build up a decent amount of planning. They have fully recovered at least some of these units. I know the Sasebo 3rd, but I don't think the Sasebo 3rd... Oh no, it is actually here in full strength, so it just took a disproportionate amount of losses. But that's fine, they'll have reinforcements shortly. Additional reinforcements as well. We can see over here that we need to move through over here to actually open this up. Which would be nice. Okay, they're running a bit low on fuel there. I think I'm going to have them set to head over here to Naga. Turn to Naga so you can actually refuel with what fuel that actually is there. These guys are proving a pain. I was hoping that they wouldn't take that much, but they are proving a pain. Now, he can see that we are moving forces out of here. That's pretty interesting. Okay. So, excellent news then. Fuso Yamashiro has arrived. Kashino has arrived, which is excellent, so we're going to disband Kashino into the port there. The Kokuyo Maru has arrived as well, so she can head back to Babardwar shortly. We do have the tankers unloading fuel here as well. Issei and Hyuga arrived as well, which is quite nice. The 5 light cruisers arrived. Additional fuel being unloaded over here as well. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do then is move out the torpedo boats. I believe what I'll do then is I'll use the destroyers here then to act as the actual escorts. Okay, almost fully rearmed. So I do have 2 slightly faster patrol boats. So we'll get her moving out of the area. Back to Babardwar. Okay. I do need to create a section on the actual Discord, don't I, for like send out play by emails. That's on the to-do list. Okay. Right, so I'm still waiting for Balapapan to fall, and then I can get you. Stop fucking unloading, you dick. Load that supply, you bitch. Alright, okay. Yeah, with these units here, they have nowhere to go, so they will crack tomorrow. I'm surprised they didn't crack today. Alright, they're unloading the paratroopers over there. I do have the additional APDs over here, so I'm going to figure out how I want to use them. Okay. Moving south is interesting. Right, where's our unit? Maxar. There we go. Okay, what's the range here then? So from Makassar, 8 hexes. Mini Kidapatayas over here. They are going to head to Balapapan. Sorry, to Babaldwar to refuel. And then they're going to begin to head for track. Good news is they're undetected, which is nice. Oh, that's awesome. They're revering. Hope you have a lot of fun, my dude. Right, 4 ships sighted there. That is very interesting. I don't know where they're coming from or where they're going. Like, I don't have any indication of direction here at this moment in time. I'm going to say maybe they're heading south? Not so sure. I think what it's trying to do here then is... I think it's trying to bait... I don't know, I feel like it's trying to bait us in this area of the Coral Sea. By the Torres Strait to try and figure out what we actually have. I mean, my worry as well that he might have additional fighters. I mean, we have seen fighters from Soribaya moved out. I don't think they would have arrived in Australia, but it is something I'm somewhat worrying about, really. Jesus. And then all it takes is some random guy just to do something slightly off, and then it's just like, ah, well. Oh, dear. Okay. Five miles down. 41 to go. I'll eventually land here. I'd like to get... Oh, okay, that's interesting. So he has moved troops over here to Rabal. Okay. Okay. Well... Okay. It's just what I've had, like, okay. And I've got 81 assault value here. Yeah, 1,400 troops there. I'm pretty good with that, yeah. I mean, that's 14... just shy of 1,500 frontline forces there. And then just shy of 1,000 second line. We do have additional forces as well, 22 guns. Yeah, I'm fine with this. I'm absolutely fine with him moving over here. If anything, it makes my job easier. As far as it goes for D&D, like, I'm one of those... I find role-playing very... I'm just not very good at role-playing. I'm very much like, black is black and white is white sort of thing. I can do the voices and stuff like that, but I don't know. I think it's one of those, you've got to find like a real group that you really like gel with to really get into it. I think for me, like, with the D&D group I used to play with, it was more so... I don't know, it just felt too small, really. You got to kind of, like, got kind of bored of the same people, same things, really, same tropes, that sort of stuff. How you doing, Bear Monkey? Good to have you, my dude. Cannot form 2nd Division there. Well, yeah, I mean, I can't. I mean, the 2nd Division is pretty spread out. I mean, Rabal, Bataan, Gasmata, San Fernando, Tokyo, Truk. It's a very, very spread out division. Okay. Now, I'm not seeing the tanker over here, but she could have headed for port. But it is interesting seeing additional ships over here. So we'll try to figure out where they might be heading. Hmm. I think in theory he could move this way. If he's... I don't know. He must be coming from Darwin area because we didn't previously see this. Are there coastal torpedo batteries in the game? I don't believe so. Maybe mods add them. There's some mods out there that do try to be more historically accurate, but I don't think it's in the base game. That's actually not too bad there. So we do have the AMC Kiyosumi Maru. Well, we're Horn Island. We are advancing on. Now, for example, we do have the 56th Division there, so they're about 41 miles out from Port Moresby. So in a couple of days, they'll eventually arrive at Moresby. It'll take some time to reduce Moresby. We will eventually take the actual base there. I think once we take Moresby, then I can look towards taking Headland. Sorry, taking Horn Island, not Headland. I was thinking of the Northern Australian base that we bombarded. Are there more game scenarios that just come with the game? Yeah, there's a few scenarios in there. Okay. I'll have you hang around this position over here. Well, let's see, actually. I will, for when I actually have the adequate resources to do it. I'm not inclined to use naval bombers. And I'm not inclined to use them without escorts. They can do it, but I don't know. Okay. So, it's a shame that we weren't just that one hex. I mean, maybe. I assume that we might have only been able to travel this distance for the operations. But they've been able to move over there. So that's a lesson learned. Maybe had I not given them that order to move there, they might have been able to make it. But I don't know if they would have made it from here. Let's see, what's the distance? Yeah, just a hex too far, but it seems. So, we'll land there in the night. I don't think he has much they can do to really stop us. What I might do then is actually take some of the care for the freeze and actually have them run at night on the long-range combat patrol. We might potentially take additional... Oh no, drop tanks aren't available. Ooh, that complicates things. So they will have to run without fighter cover for the time being then. But I think we should be okay. I don't think it's going to be possible for him to really get much up in the area. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to do that. Okay. So these guys can dock. Fantastic news. Let's get these guys loaded back on board then. Yeah, below 10% moonlight. He does have some detection there, but we do also have the thunderstorms, which is really quite nice. He might have actually had potentially something to respond here, but I don't think it's going to happen. We've got a heavy cruiser, a couple of DMSs, APDs, so they're not the... And they are pretty... And an escort there as well. They are pretty quick as well. I think they should have a decent amount of maneuver, so they're not the worst things ever to have there. Well, I can obviously shift in the Makassar, aircraft from Makassar. I'll be able to shift in something from here. I expected them to be here this turn and not over here, actually. I've got an AS that can move in pretty quick. Yeah, I know, monkey. I know how to play the game. Oh, dear. But I expected them to be there, not there, today. So that's complicated things a little bit. Let's see. So I do have an AMC over there, the Owatamaru, but there's no fuel. So I do have the APDs over here, which I should be able to get something shifted over there within about a day or two. Let's see. Dock. Right, we do have the coys over here. That'd be perfect. Just enough. Could get two. Two's been two would be excellent actually. It would be nice to have another APD just to balance things out. I don't think I need to take supplies with me, considering that we will take supplies when we land there. So verified load. Right, there we go. How you doing there, Phil? It's good to have you, my dude. Jets, I don't know. It's one of those of too little too late, really. When you look obviously at Germany, after they did have the MA262s. And yeah, they did well, but it's just the writing was on the wall at that point there, really. Okay, so we're going to have to figure out where we want to move our assets. The good news is that the Minicapitai is moving beyond the Dutch East Indies undetected, which is actually, it's very nice. Now, he may have last saw the MKB around about this area, so he might assume it might be still in this area. So we'll have to bear that one in mind. How much supply do we have over here at Namla? So, 22... It's not bad. How is Kashino actually doing? I imagine she's probably out of operation points at this moment. Thank you very much there for the follow, Dark Menden. Glad you enjoyed the stream. Hope to see more in the future of you as well. Yeah, so we did use a decent bit of supply there, but we can keep things going. I'm so very glad that Kashino was not torpedoed. It's very nice. Thank you very much there, Monkey, for the bits. Much appreciated. Yep, so I do imagine these are the... I don't know, I feel like they're probably PT boats. So we took this base. We'll be loading up then. So we've got you inbound then. King of the stream. King of the mountain. Right, land there. I don't think it'd be worthwhile. I don't know. Actually, that's not a bad base at all there, to be honest. That would be a nice base to actually take control of, if at all possible. Possible. I might make the risk for that. It would be nice to have as an option. Obviously, I would like to have some AV there, but I suppose I could fly in some small AV, possibly in the future. But it would be nice to do, well, to deny it to him in a sense, really. Might come in and use one for the future. If I can grab it easy, then I might be happy. Okay. Hey there, Grilla. Good to have you, my friend. I'm still not sure about that. I don't like the fact that we've seen the black arrow. Oops. I've got a notification there, but I've not seen it. Thank you very much, communist. I'm happy with this game. I'm happy. I'm totally okay with this game. Keep it up. Oh, dear. Yeah, so as to whether there's units moving there or not, I'm not entirely certain. Ideally not. But we'll see. I don't know. We're still some days from being ready here, really. It is strange. I don't know. It's one of these of, he feels he needs to defend this position, which is rather interesting. I don't know, actually. It's one of those of what could it potentially mean. Hard one to say. Might have to ask one of the developers about that or something. But even then, like, will they know about that? So we'll ideally have rid of this unit tomorrow, and then we'll have the rail line once again open. There we go. So the divisions have arrived over here at Loyang. Excellent news. So that gives us a decent amount of AV. The war's going well enough, actually. We do have some interesting operations that are going to be really underway shortly. And we're looking around about the 19th of February to have everything more or less in position here. I wish... Well, we've just recently seen about 3 to 4 cores, maybe less, maybe more. Well, not more than 4. But we saw some cores move out of Changsha. It would have been nice had he left them there. Of course, he bloody does things that just suddenly change things at the end. I normally get to watch the replays on YouTube. Love a series and watch both of you. Oh, that's awesome, dude. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Can you form a tank division? I can form tank divisions. There are some that can form tank divisions, actually. Yeah, black eyes would be cool. But yeah, make sure you send me that on Discord there, Communist, on how to get blacker eyes, or the link to blacker eyes. I would much appreciate that. And I'd actually give it a go then. Words, okay, words. Yeah, tank division, there we go. Got off topic there for a second and I forgot what I was saying. Okay, the tank regiment. Tank brigades. There's a couple... second tank division, there we go. So, Changsha, San Fernando, but I'm going to be moving that one over. There we go. Still loading troops, but I imagine they'll probably be done tomorrow, ideally. So loading the 7th Tank Regiment. Maybe not tomorrow, it might take a little bit longer. It's not a terribly large port, and I don't think there's any naval support here. No, there's no naval support, so it's going to take some time. The port has been expanded, though, which is nice. That's pretty cool. As far as I know, I think chemical mortars was a designation for mortars from the British and Americans of mortars of, like, I don't know, like, larger caliber. But I could be wrong on that one. The tank brigade that we looked at earlier, I don't think so. Yeah. Currently, there's only the 2nd Tank Regiment. The 41st Tank Regiment doesn't arrive for another, well, nearly a long time. A long time, basically. Oh, dear. That's interesting. Okay. Need to get a move in ASAP. The tanks arriving at Canton are not too far out now. So as soon as they're available, then they need to get underway. You're loading a 2nd Tank Regiment. Might because we're loading multiple units at once, and it's slowing us down. I'm allowed to continue at the moment. It's to take as long as it takes, really. Okay, so additional coins over here, which would be nice elsewhere. Cure. Over there, so gonna get additional reinforcements sent down that way. Accept. Then they can move down here to the base. Okay, Air Division's still moving. Still need to figure out what I ultimately want to place on, actually. Let's see. So I'm about 10 hexes out from Pearl Harbor at the moment. So I think we will run the reconnaissance over Pearl Harbor during the night if I can, actually. I've got a reserve, thankfully. I think I'll reduce that down to 8 hexes. We don't need to add additional complications there. Considering that we will be... Yeah, it could be at 6 hexes there. It might be worth to close, but it's one of those of, is it... I guess I might close a little bit further. I do run the risk of being detected, but at 6 hexes away, we're probably... I don't know. We're probably in a safer position. I still find this rather interesting at Christmas Island. There, supposedly the 2 PTs, and then there's something else there. It could be that he's moved in a AV. I'm not entirely certain at this moment in time. It does complicate things pretty significantly, really, as far as it goes for the actual carriers. Well, the actual Kitabatai. It is rather irritating, actually. We could potentially avoid them, but it does make things difficult. Oh, 4, yeah, ever the contrarian. No, I don't know. I don't know what he might see, but it's worthwhile trying. Who knows what he might pick up on. Hey there, bud. Good to have you, my friend. Right. Still good here. Research crap money for the cheers. So that means that you can cheer more? That's pretty awesome, dude. Right, they're moving in at long last. I look forward to having that capability. Right. So they're loaded in. We'll have them dock for safety reasons. The mini Kitabatai. So we have Ryujo, Zuiho, Hoshio, and Taiyo. They're heading to Babaldo to refuel, and then they're going to be heading to Truck. Main Kitabatai is still over here at Truck right now. We will be getting underway tomorrow, potentially. So we might be looking at moving out on... Well, it's not going to be the 14th when we move... Well, actually, no, it will be the 14th, yeah. So we should be looking at moving out on the 14th of February from Truck. The reason why... We were initially going to set off about 3 days ago. But the reason why we've waited is so we can actually have the Tone and Aoba heavy cruisers made available. I think I should have the other heavy cruisers on the way as well if they're not already here. Yeah, but they'll arrive tomorrow, then. That's good news. Excellent. I'm going to have to scrimp and save on the fuel there for the time being until the next fuel shipment arrives, which isn't too far away, thankfully. Oh dear. Well, I mean, the reason why we are running this reconnaissance, or are going to attempt to run the reconnaissance at Pearl Harbor, is we need to figure out where, if at all possible, the American carriers are. I don't know. God damn it. I think it's... I don't know. Maybe 50-50 if you're still here at Wellington. I find it very strange that we have no detections. I don't seem to have detection level over here, so I don't know if he's actually flying out, but I find it very strange that there's no detections at all. So it's a difficult one to really say yes or no. He does not seem to be running reconnaissance over here with aircraft either, so that's good news. Ideally, we might pick up on something there. I'd like to get these submarines rearmed and sent down to Perth, to be honest. That could make his life a little bit more difficult, but it would be difficult for us to be able to do such a thing. And keep it running effectively, really. But who knows? If I could try to run submarines along the Cape Town supply line, that could be nice. Okay. I've been conditioned. Such good music, right? Right, what I'm going to do here is take a look at the operations report. Right, 1 day remaining. 1 day there. So, I-124 has been returned to service, so it's very good. I'll have to take a look at her. Near Wake Island, that must be a submarine, actually. Yeah, the speed there suggests submarine. 136.98 near Wake. I really like Dark Star for the mods, to be honest. So I don't see the ship that was down here by Wallace Island, which is interesting. I still do not know why he has not hit the Vi. I think he's using it... yeah, I think he's using it to train his crews, for all his aircraft crews. But it may come to bite him in the ass one day. It's just not something... I'm just saying, like, if we're in this sort of position... I don't, like, obviously if we were the opposite, if we were the allied player, I do not think I'd allow something like this to happen. You'd shut that airfield down, you shut that port down, you shut it down completely. Oh, that's interesting then, Monkey. Right, we're going to stand down. It's a shame to have lost 10 zeros, actually, probably largest loss. So I'll be happy with that one, but it's no big deal. And I will stand down. I just can click rest. But again, I don't trust it. I've been burned too many times before on that one. I know it's not going to happen, but I don't trust that. What's the status of your battleship fleet? Well, unfortunately, we did lose Haruna relatively early into the game. We do have three of them damaged at the moment. Congo is under repairs. She's only 51 days out from being finished now. Obviously, once these guys... I mean, I might have her shipped out elsewhere, but I think she's fine here at Hong Kong. So yeah, she's just got the major damage to fix over here, which is nice. Yeah. So, just over, well, near enough 2 months before we see her again. Over here at Truck. Congo was damaged from the early days of the war. The battleships... Let's see... Nagato was damaged during the Battle of... Bellep Island. Yeah, the Battle of Bellep Island. Off Bellep Island. In the engagement with the Allied cruiser. So she did receive damage during that battle. Thankfully, the damage is... I can fix this over here. It's not major, so I can fix this. It's just going to take time. So she's going to be ready in just about a month, more or less. Probably less time as we move the carriers and etc. out of here as well. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So we do have Hiei Kirishima. Obviously, that's just service damage there. Mutsu's completely fine. The other battleship that has been damaged... Oops. Is Fuso. And Fuso wasn't damaged by enemy action. She was damaged by a collision with one of our own destroyers during the night, unfortunately. Which is kind of annoying. But the good news is she doesn't look smoking on the animation, so when he sees her bombarding Ambon, he's not seeing her as being damaged. So I will make time in the near future to have her repaired. It's a pain in the arse, because that's going to take... It's going to take some days. It's going to take a good month or 2 months to potentially repair that damage, depending on where we send her. Which is annoying, but it is what it is. Yeah. I might allow some time to pass by before we bombard Ambon again. I'd like to try and... Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to think about that one. Yeah, Singapore would be perfect to send her to, really. We've got additional engineers being sent over here from Johor, but that'll take some time to arrive. Yeah. Oh, dear. Well, I mean, it depends. She might have hit the rudder or something like that. Who knows? Okay. Imperial Guard Division still recovering. They're up to 40 sold value now. Yeah, they're slowly but surely getting there. But at the end of the day, they still have those guns which will be useful. They still have the second line troops as well. They're still, yeah, still infantry here. Fifth Division's looking great. 48th, 400, sorry, yeah, 48th, 18th. Well, that's true. Right, 21st Division's on her way as well, so we'll have another division there shortly. So what are we sitting on at the moment? So I'm sitting on 1565 AV at the moment. So we'll be at near 2000 when the regiment and the engineers make it across, and then the 21st. I'm going to be transferring additional engineers and artillery from Bataan. Additional artillery is on its way. Well, you could do that, but it's mined and it has some of the largest coastal defense guns in the world, so probably not worthwhile. It's just, yeah, it's very dangerous. I built the Yamato class. Well, the Yamato doesn't arrive for a while. Let's see. I think the first one, well, actual Yamato will arrive in May. Yeah, 15-inch coastal defense guns. There we go. Oh, that's sunk ships. Oh, goddamn! Why do I keep doing that? Ship availability. Right. So Yamato will arrive on the 30th of May. Musashi will arrive on the 1st of December. So she's eventually going to arrive, and I'm looking forward to having her. She's going to be excellent for the bombardment usage, which will be quite nice. I think should our operation... I don't know, it's one of these of... Who knows? If he's moving his carriers to, let's say, Australia towards the Indian Ocean... things will become very interesting, really. I'm happy for him to move to the Indian Ocean. I mean, this is it. I don't know if he would. I find it hard to believe that anybody would do something like that. I mean, maybe he might be countenancing that idea, which it would be, if anything, a unique playthrough from that point there. I think, if anything, we'd have a very good chance of defeating him out in those waters, or at least impeding... I don't know. It'd be very interesting, really. It's one of those of he could bring a great deal of aircraft to bear, but it's like, what can he really achieve with them? Like, he could achieve local supremacy, but then it's just going to be really cat and mouse game in a sense, really. Oh yeah, Yamato is obviously a beast. If she gets to be using the correct circumstances, then yeah, she's a beast. I don't know. I'm 50-50, to be honest, if she's still... I don't know, maybe she's still at Wellington, but I'm finding it harder to believe that she's still at Wellington. I'm finding that continuously harder to believe, really. But then... I don't know why he'd go to the Indian Ocean. I don't know what he thinks he can really achieve there. But we'll see. It's going to be a very strange world if we're actually left with supremacy in the Pacific. I mean, obviously, you will have additional carriers arrive, and maybe, I don't know, I'm starting to think that maybe that might be the reason as to why he's sending the carriers to the Indian Ocean. If he's indeed sending the carriers to the Indian Ocean, they're either at Wellington still, which, I don't know, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I find it very weird that nothing's been sighted. We're going to keep on endeavouring to try and get a report over the port there if we can. He could attempt to. He could make it difficult, but it's one of those of, well... inevitably, it will fall here, really. The thing is, we are able to produce large numbers of fighters, so eventually we would be able to get him to a point at which... And the thing is, it's like he doesn't want to be in this sort of exchange, because you imagine here, for example, it's like we've got the airbase at Makassar, so... What have we got there at the moment? So in terms of fighters... So... I mean, that's 49, obviously about 14 of those are KR-27s, but the thing is, it's like I can bring additional aircraft. And we will be able to concentrate aircraft. It's just one of these of, well, I lose aircraft, okay, but the thing is, if I get my torpedo bombers through to strike against him, then he's risking his carriers. He's risking his strike power, really, as well. Because the thing is, obviously, he will have that local supremacy where he throws the carriers, but each loss will have an impact, as he will not be able to replace them unless he makes port somewhere. Then it's the case of, well, does he actually have the pull to support that? Singapore's going to fall no matter what, really. It's inevitable as far as that one goes. The fact that I do have troops over here means that inevitably it would fall. It could take a long time, but eventually it would fall. Yeah, he'd be probably trying to disrupt the Dutch East Indies. But if he was moving out from this way, it would still take him some time to arrive. We'll be landing at Balikpapan tomorrow. So we'll see. I mean, like, for instance, I have another 30 K-43s over there. There's another 42 there, another couple zeros, obviously could get back to 40 plus. So it's one of these things of when I could have over 100 K-43s and obviously zeros, additional fighters. So it's one of those of where we could continuously increase our numbers to a degree while obviously his numbers remain finite, in a sense. Obviously he would have, obviously, well, he would have the supporting aviation assets, but it's one of these things of, well, is it really worth it? Well, we have subs on patrol around the area. Like, I've got a number of subs around here. I've got submarines over here by Perth. Well, this is it as well, like, having submarines. Like, submarines really are excellent in that regard, as obviously I could have them move out from Balikpapan, where obviously there's going to be a submarine tender over there. So yeah, they could just keep continuously moving out from this area. Keep coming back to rearm, refuel, just keep on station, really, so it does make it difficult for him. But yeah, it's one of these of, okay, sure, if he moves into the Indian Ocean, it does make things a little bit more awkward, but I think ultimately we would still triumph there. But then it's like, at what cost? He may very well get new additional CVs in the Pacific, which, yeah, that's going to happen. But it's them arriving when he's got just one or just two. It's not when he's got 4 already in the Pacific. And force the new one making 5 or 6, etc. Yeah, sure. Ask the question. I'll see if I can answer it for you. That's a common question. Yes and no, but mostly no. It's one of those of where it could be handy to have additional submarines, but it's one of those of if you have separate task forces, you can imagine that in, like, each hex is 40 nautical miles, so you imagine if you got one task force with 2 submarines in, those 2 submarines are in the same area, whereas if you had multiple task forces, like if you had 2 task forces made up of 1 submarine each, you could have 1 submarine in that area, then another one that's about 20 miles away, and then maybe that one might run into the enemy task force. It's one of those where it's probably better to have them separate, just to increase the chances of actually making contact with the enemy. Okay, San Diego Maru is over here, so yeah, we do now have 52,000 units of fuel there, which is quite nice. So how much is she worth? So she's 19 points there, so it's unfortunate because it would be nice to get more fuel moving down here, but we do have tankers moving back to do that with anyway, so not too bad. Right. Okay, so the aviation has arrived over here. Now then, let's take a look at this. I will allow them to actually unload. What I'm going to do then is actually have this support sent out piecemeal then to where it needs to be. But I would like to have the additional engineers. We have some free engineers, so if I could get some additional engineers and expedite the construction of a level 7 port, then I would be quite happy. The size 7 port, I should say. So we'll allow them. And it would be nice to actually have additional aviation support, not navalation. Yeah, the additional aviation support there would be quite nice. But we'll have them sent out to where they need to be sent to, really. There's a couple of bases that would require aviation support, but I don't want to have everything moving out without real solid plans as to what to do with it, really. It's all well and good having it, but if you're not using it correctly, then is it really worthwhile? Okay. But it will be interesting, but I'm glad that they've arrived. We are lacking on aviation support over here, so it would be nice to actually have sufficient aviation support. I'd probably have some moved out to some different islands. It would give us additional support bases really to make use of, while supporting aviation bases. Okay. So you can see that these guys obviously being slower, they've only just passed Ponape. But these guys might be able to make it to Canton before the Kitapatai. Or at least they'll make it a good stretch of the way there. But it does complicate things with ships being over here at Christmas Island. You can have them loaded on transport ships, yeah, I'm pretty sure you can do that. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much one of the reasons why the US had to develop bombers with even more significant range. It's just the Pacific's a very bloody big place. But yeah, you should be able to load them on transports to get them moving. Like AKs, I should say. Okay. Right. I don't know what I'm going to do about this. It's a bloody annoying situation. I don't have a clear idea what's actually there. I could maybe use submarines to intercept them, but I don't think it's worthwhile. I think probably what we'll do in this area is just use these submarines just to linger to a degree, try to obviously gather intelligence there. And ideally they leave. Best case scenario would be that they would leave the area. It would be rather irritating that there would be, if there's aircraft there, would be rather irritating. We could always head further south. There's a port here, but there's no airfield. But the thing is, we know he's operating Catalina's out from Fiji and possibly from Pago Pago. I'm pretty sure he's operating them from there. So it does become difficult. It's 21 hexes, which in theory we could find a way to snake through here. 18 hexes. Ah, thanks, man. Much appreciated that. Good luck with the finals, though, my dude. Keep drinking that energy drink shit. Oh, dear. Yeah, so we could try to figure a way through here. Maybe head further south than I would have anticipated, but we'll see. I could try to... Well, it's one of these, isn't it? It's just... I could probably still make it through. It's one of these of where we might have to reduce the naval search down to significantly shorter ranges, which does kind of create some issues, but if I patrolled maybe like 3-4 hexes away, then at least I wouldn't have the ships being spotted by my own aircraft. And obviously then being attacked, or his detection going off there. Can you build ships that weren't built historically? I can only build what was built historically. I can change the order in which it's built. I can change the fact that if it's even built at all. We do have some conversions that are available that historically never happened due to the ship actually being sank. So we do have some different conversions, some additional conversions that are available. But we don't have the ability to build new ships, unfortunately. which would be nice. It would be very nice to be able to have that, but unfortunately not. But conversions give us some leeway in that sort of regards there. Okay. So, as I discussed earlier, in regards to this actual transport flotilla over here, they've obviously got some additional forces to unload, so they've still got 180 men to unload over here. These guys will be unpacked tomorrow, so they'll be fully operational tomorrow then, which is good news. I think what I might do then is try to move out the 8th Tank Regiment. Possibly. It would be nice to move out the regiment, but I don't think I have enough transport capacity to move the 144th Regiment back to Malaya. But it would be nice to be able to do that. But it's one of these of, if... Obviously we're going to finish this off in a second stream, really. But if he isn't at Wellington, or if he, I don't know, if he remains at New Zealand, then I might be able to move out additional transportation assets to New Caledonia. It's a very odd situation at the moment, because he just shouldn't be in that area to begin with. So it's kind of like everything's to play for at the moment. But if he's moving out 2 carriers, or I'm going to say 2 carriers, I don't know if he would move out all of the carriers. I mean, maybe he would. I don't know. Maybe he would be counting on the fact that we wouldn't know. Yeah, you can convert the Fuso to carry aircraft, which is kind of cool, actually. I would like to do that. I don't know about the Ibuki. I'd have to check. But yeah. Maybe he's hoping that we didn't find out. And we were very lucky to find out. Like, we could have missed that so very easily. It was only due to the fact that we'd noticed the lack of convoys in the area and would somewhat, like, become suspicious. Well, he has the Hermes, which is the British... I think it's designated as a CV in game, but I suppose it would be... I think it would be classed as like a light carrier at this point. I don't think it would be classed as a CVE per se. I'm not entirely sure on that one, actually. But I don't think he has CVEs as of yet from the USN. I think they will eventually arrive in the near future. I think at the moment he will have 2? No? I think 1 British fleet carrier. I don't know when the other one might arrive, if there's even indeed another one. I'm sure there's others, but I'm not entirely sure when they arrive. But I think he has 1 British fleet carrier at the moment. He has a British light carrier. He obviously has 4 United States fleet carriers. But yeah, where they actually are really does make a significant difference. If we're not in the Pacific, then I dare not say that we can run rampant to a degree, because I don't know where the carriers are. I don't know what numbers they're moving. I don't know what his ultimate plans are. But ideally, we get the operation underway, which would be nice. Also, we're moving the carriers. Well, we'll be moving tomorrow. From tomorrow, we'll be setting off to head this way. I find this interesting. I don't know how long they've been there. I don't think they've been there too terribly long. I don't think they've been detected from Canton Island, so I think we're only operating at 20 hexes there. So they've been detected by the submarine. So I don't know how long they've been there. I don't know what their purpose is at the moment. It is a bit of a guessing game right now. It does bloody complicate things, but I suppose this was to be expected. But I think we should still be able to move through here. I think even in the worst case scenario that he does have the ships still there at Christmas Island, I think if we reduce our naval search down to the bare minimum, really, we could probably sneak on by. My worry is if there's actual aircraft there. If there's aircraft there, that's difficult. Yeah, I've got Issei and Hyuga. I've got them. There's so bloody much to discuss. There's so much that we don't know right now, and it's difficult. But I think this is where we're going to call the stream for tonight. I will be very busy in the next week, and obviously time to come over to college. So I will stream when I get the chance to do so. I promise it'll be as soon as possible, really. So I'm going to say that as a big thank you here, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. And of course, if you guys do enjoy this, then please do consider supporting the channel. You can do this through PayPal, Patreon, and a number of different ways. I do have prints available. And I'm not just saying this to shill. It is shilling, of course. But it definitely does help. It is a big time investment, and yeah, this is it. It's hard to balance between education. So anything helps. Thank you so much for that, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be seeing you guys in the future. I hope you have a beautiful evening and a great day tomorrow. Goodbye, and God bless. And for you Americans, happy Thanksgiving. Goodbye for now.